Jimmy Butler, aka Playoff Jimmy, the one they call Himmy. You know who I'm talking about.
Tobias Harris over me?
The guy who has been masquerading around as Michael Jordan's son for years, some alleged dog in the playoffs, and on the heels of one of the most improbable finals runs in NBA history. It's certainly not time to bury him, but it is likely time to reevaluate Jimmy Buckets, what his legacy actually looks like, and the era that gave him his rise. And it is outright magical how a guy with Butler's playoff resume even managed to be known by the moniker of Playoff Jimmy in the first place. As after going out 4-1 to the Denver Nuggets in these NBA Finals, Jimmy Butler is now just 59-57 in his playoff career. He has appeared in 10 different NBA postseasons, 4 times with Chicago, once with Minnesota, once with Philadelphia, and 4 times now with the Miami Heat. And while Butler has appeared in 3 conference finals out of his 10 trips to the playoffs, he has also been eliminated in the first round of the playoffs 4 times out of 10. Now, he has been to 2 NBA Final Series in his career, which is a hell of a lot more than we can say about other alleged all-time greats in this era. But one of those 2 finals was the highly suspect asterisk tournament in Orlando, where even this guy managed to experience playoff success.
And I want my damn respect too.
Which leaves the validity of that 2020 run very much up for debate. In fairness, Butler has had some great moments throughout his playoff career, specifically since he got to Miami, producing one of the best and most improbable playoff runs in NBA history this season. Along the way, he dazzled us with one of the great playoff series of the last decade, as the Heat stunned the basketball world with their shocking upset of the then NBA title favorite Milwaukee Bucks. Butler was fantastic, averaging 38 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a game on, quite frankly, an unimaginable 60% from the field and 44% from the three-point line. But there has been some bad along the way as well. His 16-point Game 7 on 5 of 14 shooting in the 2019 East semifinals as the 76ers fell on this back-breaking Kawhi Leonard game winner at the buzzer, ultimately propelling the Raptors to the NBA championship. Butler also had his struggles throughout the Eastern Conference Finals this season against the Celtics, as the Heat came dangerously close to becoming just the first team ever to blow a 3-0 series lead. But the Heat would prevail, advancing to the NBA Finals.
Is everything gonna be alright?
Ultimately, though, everything would not be all right there, as Butler would go on to produce what will and should be remembered as a subpar final series against the Nuggets, averaging just 22 points per game on 41% shooting.
Look at you. Do your job.
Perhaps, though, we're looking at this all the wrong way. It's not as if Butler was some underperforming stud, failing time after time in the playoffs, forced to amass super teams to reach his ultimate goal. Butler, after all, was just the 30th pick in his draft and scored only 2 points per game in his rookie year. This is a guy who has made a grand total of 0 All-NBA first teams and has only 1 second-team selection in his entire NBA career. A 33-year-old who has only appeared in 6 career All-Star games and has fairly pedestrian career averages of 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. And this is the guy who is known as Playoff Jimmy. This guy,
Jimmy Butler Day, bro, you out there.
Who has appeared in 3 of the last 4 conference finals and 2 of the last 4 NBA finals. And he didn't even need a super team to do it, as the Heat played 7 undrafted players in their rotation this postseason, and a team that finished dead last in scoring this year became the first team in modern NBA history to carry a negative point differential from the regular season all the way into the NBA Finals. This is the same era which praises overrated, coddled, self-proclaimed greats
That one
So
right
good.
there made me the greatest player of all time.
for simply getting to the finals, and that is with multiple All-Stars and Hall of Famers flanking them. Also, there were certainly no players like Giannis and Joel Embiid roaming the Eastern Conference back when the Chosen One was making his runs to his annual finals losses.
Not 3, not 4, not 5.
Perhaps the reason we praise Butler is because he represents something of a dying breed in today's game, something that this era has come to reject. A player just outworking and outwilling his competition. A guy who doesn't have to rely on talent or their super teammates. A guy who just despises the very premise of losing, who just wants it worse than everyone else. And in a season where another unathletic underdog from out of nowhere in Nikola Jokic just authored one of the great playoff runs in NBA history, perhaps this postseason will be the first step back in a direction that many of us have been missing for years.